Hello, welcome to the Mediocre Takes podcast, the podcast where we share our mediocre takes on the shows and movies we watch. I'm Marco, and here with my co-host Mel. How are you doing, Mel?
It's my month.
Your birthday month?
No, it's my month.
Oh, is it February already?
When this
No,
is
it's not.
released, it is.
Okay, I was like, you scared me.
And then I get to yell at everyone and be like, "You can't do this to me this month."
So sly for you. Today we're doing another First Impressions episode. First Impressions, it sounds like what it is. We talk about the first two episodes of a show, review it, and say whether we'll continue with this show or not. And for today, we are doing Craig of the Creek. So yeah, let's just get into it with episode 1. In episode 1, Craig and friends go to the creek in order to become legends of the creek. They go deeper and deeper into the poison ivy fields to see what's in the middle. Eventually, they make it there and find a trampoline as well as a kid that's immune to poison ivy. Instead of becoming famous, they let the kid have the place for himself. So, the intro song of Craig of the Creek was made by Jeff Rosenstock, and so is part of the soundtrack. I will say the intro, in my opinion, is not Jeff Rosenstock's best work. I don't know, it feels kind of too ska-ish for me, I guess. I personally don't like it that much. What's your opinion on ska, Mel?
Too ska. Can you be
Yeah,
too ska?
yeah. Have you like listened to a Peter Scott album before?
Never Peter Scott, but I know my ska.
Oh. Well, I just don't like ska that much, I guess.
Okay, hater.
Yeah, I am a hater. I kind of hate Craig's brother, but I also don't like Craig either. So I don't
On
know. I don't
Black
know what I'm trying to
History
say.
Month?
What?
On Black History Month, you're gonna hate the two black people? Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, okay, but okay, I understand you not liking the brother, but why not Craig? What did Craig do? Episode 1, you hate Craig?
I just don't vibe with him. It's all about the vibes, I guess. I don't know. He
Okay.
sounds kind of annoying, especially during that one episode with his sister.
Yeah. I mean, I get that in that episode, but I'm chill with Craig.
Yeah, I think he's just okay. I don't really like him that much. This episode was really sweet. That's mostly how I feel about the show. It's cute, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, listen, it's been a couple months since we talked about Shira, but I must bring up the fact that Craig's brother, the girl he was with, I don't know her name, but the voice actress is the same voice actress as Glimmer from Shira, and I had to bring that up. I also love, like, that there's literally, like, a convenience store, like, in the creek. Also, there's a thin line between making the silly and, like, aloof, character annoying or endearing, and luckily, JP is on the endearing side for me so far. With the 6 episodes we have watched, he is pretty endearing.
Okay, I forgot to mention two things. One is I also do agree I like the convenience store lady, the girl. I don't know, something about her really hit with me personally. Also, I do not vibe with Kelsey, I think her name is, talking to herself in her head. I have no problem with people talking to themselves. However, I don't know how to say this correctly, but it kind of reminded me of myself when I was a kid, and I really hate that. So, yeah, I just don't vibe with her because of that.
So
So,
you're projecting.
yes, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. Anyways,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, she was a single child, so
But still, like whenever she starts talking about like being a hero and everything, it just made me cringe a bit, you know?
you okay. All right. I mean, I did that as a kid too, but, you know, I guess you just hate your child self. That's totally fine, Marco.
Yeah, that's totally fine in my eyes. Episode 2. In this episode, everything is going great until Kelsey gets tagged in this infamous game of tag. It's kind of like the cheese touch, I guess.
Stop. Stop. Tag existed before the cheese touch. I can't believe you just said that.
No, but
Literally,
it's
it's
like
just a game of tag.
no, but they treat it as bad as if it was the cheese touch, I guess.
Did you ever play tag in elementary school?
Yeah, but I don't remember it being that bad.
That shit was aggressive and rough. People died.
Okay, if you say so. Anyways, her friends want her to tag someone else, but she refuses to. When eventually Craig touches her on accident, and they come up with a plan to tag Craig's brother in order to get the game of tag out of the creek. So I like how we get to see a little flash of what started this game of tag. I don't know what was going on, whether that was supposed to be like some imaginary thing where we see like them being in this focused mindset once they get tagged, or if that's supposed to be some like magical realism shit. But I personally really liked it. I'm assuming it's just something that's happening, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so I've mentioned this before, but for the most part, I don't like TV shows that have different plots in each episode. I forgot what the word for this was. I used to mention it a lot when we were
Episodic?
talking about episodic. Yes, thank you. I don't really like how episodic shows are, especially kids' cartoons are. The only episodic shows I really liked is The Amazing World of Gumball, and also, I guess, the beginning of Steven Universe, I guess. So yeah, this show kind of reminds me of Cuphead. It kind of reminds me of Adventure Time, though I know Adventure Time does get more serious in the later seasons. And it reminds me of the beginning of Amphibia. And while those shows do change eventually, at least most of them do, I'm tired of constantly waiting for an overarching plot, I guess. We get more of Kelsey's thoughts in this episode, and honestly, there were kind of worse in this episode, which made me cringe harder, in my opinion.
Just let the kid be cringe.
That's fair, I guess. I liked how Craig ended up solving the problem of tag in the end. It was actually kind of great. Oh, okay, so there are these like adults, or I guess they're like teens or something, but I kind of hated them. The ones that are playing D&D and stuff, they gave me bad vibes, I guess.
Did you get batter vibes when one of the guys tried to pay for something with Bitcoin?
Wait, did he say that?
There's literally a line where he's like, "What do you mean you don't take Bitcoin?" To a
Oh,
literal
I think
middle schooler like running a Creek Mart.
yeah, I think I remember that now. Yeah, I completely forgot about that, but that's wild to think about trying to sell Bitcoin to like a little middle schooler.
Like they really wanted us to know that these characters are supposed to be unlikable.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing else I have to say about this episode is why did no one question where JP got that dog? Like he took a dog. That is literally someone's dog and he took it. And that's what I love about JP. I don't know, he just like says the most weirdest and randomest shit in the world, but I guess Jessica and Craig know him so well that they just don't question it at all, which I kind of like that friendship dynamic.
Episode 3. In this episode, Jessica and Craig accidentally forget their keys and go to the creek because of it. Craig acts like a douche to his sister, but eventually Craig apologizes. Those Boy Scouts deserve to be bullied, and that's all I'll say on that. Craig was honestly so annoying here, and I wasn't surprised to find out his sister was a better person. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode.
Yeah, the Craig's line, when he said, "Some people can't afford to go to the creek," that was so funny to me. And also, I didn't mention this before, but I love that they use a trading system instead of using like little pieces of paper. I think it's really cool that these kids are trading shit. It's like what's it called? Oh yes, indoctrination, Marco. This cartoon is indoctrinating children to believe in communism. Also, Jessica is literally the most adorable character, and I absolutely love the way they wrote Jessica because she truly does like feel like and act like and sound like a child, which is something that a lot of writers like totally miss with when they're writing a child character. Oh yeah, and then that scene where one of the Boy Scouts, they pull up a cardboard cutout of this basketball player and one of them's like, "Please don't dunk on me." Something about that was so funny to me.
So, in episode 4, Kelsey finishes a book in a series and goes to the library to find the next book in the series, only for it to be overdue by someone. They eventually find out the missing book was actually from the first person they met in this episode, called Stax. I have mixed feelings on the Hardy Boys reference. It's something that I read as a kid, but I literally don't remember anything about it. And sometimes I even question myself if I read it in the first place. But I'm pretty sure I did read it because I have like certain memories of plots in the books.
That's a real thing?
Hardy Boys, search that up.
No.
Let me
I'll take
search
your
it up
word
for
for
you.
it.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Wait, like they literally just copy pasted?
No, I think the Craig of the Great Hall did something different.
I had no idea that was an actual thing.
Really?
Yeah, really? I wasn't a nerd when I was a kid. I'm a
That's
nerd
a
as an
fair point.
adult.
Zax being the culprit in the end was actually a good ending and it made sense for a character to me personally. I really did like that. The horse girls were very strange, and what I especially love about them was that there was this one girl who does not seem to be into it while all the other girls were. Like she was like, "Do you want to go to the mall or something like that?" I forgot.
She was like, hey, do you guys like basketball? There's a game called Horse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea
What? Wait, what do you mean you had no idea? You had no idea about what?
that there was a game called Horse, a
Oh my
basketball
god.
game. What?
Okay, nerd. While you were in your house reading Party Boys, I was playing Horse.
What? Okay, so tell me the rules of Horse. How does it work?
One person chooses a place or a way of shooting a ball into the hoop, and if they make it, then the next person has to do the exact same thing, or else they get a letter, and when you get enough letters to spell horse, you lose.
Yeah, I have never heard of that game, but
Of
it
course
seems
you
cool, I
wouldn't.
guess. Hey,
Okay, Craig saying kids can solve mysteries much better than the police. Yes. I know this was like an observation about like all the stories about teenagers, solving crimes and stuff, like Scooby-Doo and whatever you referenced. But like no, yeah, I love the like little commentary about how useless the cops are.
anti-propaganda.
In a children's show? Fox News was right. When Stack started nervously playing with her hair in the beginning, I knew she was the culprit. I feel like it makes total and complete sense that a horse girl would have a crush on JP. Like something about that just like makes sense. Also, I wish I had the childhood experience of library drama like in this episode, but I did not read books a lot as a kid. I don't the melodrama of this whole episode just seems like it would have been so stressful to experience as a kid, but also like a little fun to think back on.
Episode 5. Craig has become obsessed with collecting quote unquote treasure. Also, a tire at Craig's and friends' hideouts has gone missing and they are on the search for a new one. Eventually, Craig gets a new tire, but also gets rid of some of his treasures and learns what the difference is between wanting something and needing something. So, I really loved Craig's mom and how healthy a relationship they have. Okay, so what was that kid stuck in the tree all about? Like, was that just there for more padding of this episode, or were they planning on going somewhere with that? Because that was just kind of random.
I don't think it was padding. I think it was just a way to create another scenario in which Craig felt like his junk was not junk.
Hmm. Okay. I like how Craig eventually learns how to let go of things, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I kind of did relate a little too much with Craig in this episode. I do get pretty nervous when I have to throw things away, even if I don't need them. And this is actually just a really good lesson to teach someone at a young age. I loved how they had a little turn based RPG menu pop up whenever Craig tried to fix a problem. And the boat exploding was so unnecessary and so funny. Unnecessary explosions will always be hilarious.
Okay, episode 6. In the final episode that we are reviewing, the gang finds a turtle and tries to make it their pet, only for Wildernessa to take away that turtle and teach the group a lesson. This leads to Kelsey to try to free dogs, which ends up going horribly, and she learns her lesson. I don't really have that much to say about it, other than like the turtle was great, I guess, and the dogs too. Honestly, I this episode just didn't really stick with me.
Yeah, so I think we can both agree that Wildernessa is just Princess Mononoke, right? Okay, I'd literally, it is literally Princess Mononoke. Like side to side, literally Princess Mononoke. And I loved that.
I did not see this connection until you said it, so now I see it.
Seriously?
It's been a while since I've watched that movie.
I think about it all the time. But even down to just the bear that she wore is literally Princess Mononoke. Okay, I think I've made it clear that she is literally Princess Mononoke, and I love that. Am I the only one that felt like the dogs were drawn weird in this episode. Like, there were a couple dogs that just looked weird.
Oh yeah, they kind of no. Oh
There's a
yeah, they
couple that
do look
look
weird.
weird.
Oh yeah, definitely. I totally forgot that what was his name? PJ? Was
JP.
that his name? JP? He slathered himself in peanut butter. That seems like something he'd do.
That seems like something he'd do during his leisure time and not just for this specific scenario.
Yeah, that was kind of strange, but yeah, the dogs definitely do look weird.
Glad we're on the same page there. Finding out Jessica had 37 birds before Mortimer makes me wonder, because first of all, I don't even know what kind of bird that is, but there's no way like its average lifespan is like 6 months. So what happened to the previous 37 birds? That is what I want to know. What happened to them?
Overall, I think this is an okay TV show. Personally, it's not for me. However, I can see other kids and other adults liking it. I think it's kind of strange at times. It's mostly JP, I guess, and especially that scene where he slathered himself with peanut butter. I really do like the characters in this show. I just want it to be like more story driven, I guess. Yeah, I especially like. I think her name was Stax. I really like that episode specifically. I really liked her apologizing at the end and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I knew this show was good, and it's been on my list for a while, and I was not disappointed. This is a pretty solid show, and it shows that Cartoon Network is still capable of making good shows. I'm also generally happy that there was a cartoon where the main character is black, and I do know that in further episodes we get to see more of Craig's family, and I am actually really excited to watch those episodes in particular. And yeah, I will be watching more of this. I don't know if it'll be as attentive watching as I have with this. It may just be something that I put on in the background while I'm doing other things. But yeah, I will continue to watch this show.
I forgot to mention this, but I don't personally think I'm going to continue watching this show. I think it's an okay show. I just don't think it's for me.
Okay.
Don't give me that side eye.
I'll do whatever I want. It's my month. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Y'all have heard of Craig of the Creek. Get ready for Marco and Mal of the Mediocre Minute. Okay, just between us, Marco, was that a good transition? Be honest with me. No?
It's kind of
Okay.
funny though. It's
Okay, well,
actually really funny though.
thank you for your honesty. Um, this is a tiny little micro moment where me and Marco recommend books, comics, music, games, and more for you all to have a little look-see. My recommendation is the Milestones Comics recent Static Shock comic series, which is just called Static. It was hard for me to read the first few issues just because it was literally just black people being hate crimed, which as a black person was pretty frustrating to read and see. Something that was really refreshing was that the black characters were written by black people, so the AAVE used made sense. I read no sentence that made me freeze in confusion and shock at how botched the writing was for these black characters. The whole first season, which is 7 issues, is out now. It was a tough start. I had to stop a couple times because there's a very specific character, which if you read it, you'll know exactly who immediately, that I wanted him to die, and it was it was really hard to not see him die, but I do think that overall it is a really good comic. Marco, what is your recommendation?
So my recommendation is, I believe it's a middle grade novel called A Pet by Akwesi Ameze. I believe that's how you pronounce their name. So this is about a utopian world, and years before this, there is these like people called monsters, which are basically like rapists, abusers, all of those kind of people. And in the future, it's them after they've gotten rid of these people. However, one day the main character accidentally spilled her blood on something, and by doing that, a pet comes out, and that's the pet in the name Pet. So basically, it's about her trying to figure out who the abuser is and trying to hunt them down. It's a really good novel. I really enjoyed this. Most people say middle grade has bad writing. However, personally, this book was really well written. I really like the themes of what to do when someone is being abused and how to treat abusers. It's really good, and I really recommend that. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, that's our thoughts on Craig of the Creek. If you want to send us a voice message on Spotify for podcasters, there'll be a link in the description to do so below. We also have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, which are @MidTakesPod, and that's everything. So, goodbye.